Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 24th of August. Today we have some updates, so let's start. And first we're going to discuss the report of Ministry of Defense of Russian Federation. They gave us a lot of new interesting numbers, and mainly today they were talking about the area in Donbas occupation. This is the area between Velika Novoselovka, Donetsk, Avdiivka, Bakhmut, Toretsk, Slaviansk, and so on. And according to the Russians' number, during the previous 24 hours, they attacked 56 mechanized brigade. This one, 56 mechanized brigade, that located near the main base, according to this map, is located near Avdiivka. They attacked 66, this one mechanized brigade. As you can see, according to this map, this brigade is located near Kurakhova, this small town, small fortification Kurakhov, that located on the west from Marinka, on the north from Ugledar, and on the northwest from Novomikhailivka. And today we got update about 68 Jaeger brigade, this one. This Jaeger brigade, as far as I understand, their zone of their responsibilities is Ugledar and Pavlovka, Nikolskaya, the south of this bag, the south from Kurakhova, this one. This is their main responsibility area. And the Russians are saying that according to their attack, as a result of their attack, these three brigades lost up to 600 soldiers. These 68 Jaeger, this one 66 mechanized, and this 56 mechanized brigade. Furthermore, the Russians are saying that this 66 brigade, their main position, the most important position they're responsible for, is the area in the town by the name of Novomikhailivka, this one. And the Russians are saying that as a result of massive losses of this brigade, something around 160 soldiers just left their position in Novomikhailivka. We've seen such a story in the past. We used to see such stories in Gorsko-Zolotoye area, in Toshkovka. At some point of war, the Ukrainians refused to fight, and a lot of brigades just left their positions during the rotation period and so on, and that allows the Russians to establish control over entire Gorsk-Lysychansk agglomeration. So I suppose that sooner or later, this front line on the south is going to collapse. And if we're talking about this 66 mechanized brigade, if you take a look at the table of the data I tried to collect, I found out that during the previous months, starting from the beginning of July, this brigade lost more than 3,000 soldiers. That's a lot. And if we're talking about this 56 mechanized brigade, this brigade lost since the beginning of this month something around 4,000 soldiers. And we got these numbers from, of course, from the Russian Ministry of Defense, from the reports. So it's up to you to believe or not. Of course, they're doing some mobilization. There are a lot of training centers to fulfill these brigades. But anyway, the losses are very big. If we are talking about the 68th Jaeger Brigade, they still have some blood to stand. And their losses since the beginning of July is something around 330 soldiers. That's not much, but these losses is only about the rocket attacks. I'm not sure that these losses includes the ground battle, but maybe includes, who knows. Short update about the losses. If we're talking about the losses from the Ukrainian side, today we got some very interesting document. Some people says that it's some kind of fake, and I suppose that it's a fake, but maybe it's not a fake. But anyway, the Russians, somehow some Russian military expert managed to get this paper. This is some kind of report, and according to this information, on the 1st of July, the Ukrainians lost, it's killed, something around 76,000 soldiers. The wounded is around 42,000 soldiers. That's a lot. That's more than 100,000 soldiers of losses from the Ukrainian side on the beginning of July. And the situation is very interesting, and I'm asking myself how long the Ukrainians are able to keep this area. How long are they able to move more and more soldiers on this mid-grinder? If you remember, a few weeks ago, or maybe months ago, I told you a story about a guy a friend of my friend from Ukraine. He told me that this guy is from Lvov. He was trying to enter the Ukrainian army in Lvov, but he got refused because the line in front of him more than 2,000 people, I suppose. Then he decided to move from Lvov towards the direction of Kiev, trying to get into some center in Kiev, and he was told that he was just 400 in the line. And the next day he got a call that everything is okay, he can go to serve Ukraine. After that he was sent to the United Kingdom for some trainings, and after 2 weeks he was sent to the Donbas in this area. And after that I didn't have any updates about him. But today my friend from Ukraine, he called me and told me the second part of this story. He told me that this guy got into hospital. Now he's in hospital. There's something wrong with his back. I don't know what's wrong with his back. But anyway, this guy, as far as I understand, this guy is the friend of my friend, is brother of my friend from Ukraine, or maybe stepbrother or something like this. And he called him and he was begging him. He was begging him, asking him, begging him to move him out from this hell. And of course, my friend, he tried to solve this issue. He tried to call his friends from the military authorities, trying to handle this situation, trying to get his brother or stepbrother from this hell. But everybody said that for now it's impossible. If you got there, you won't be able to get from there anyway. So he was begging to get him out from this hell. And as soon as my friend told him that there is no way to escape, and anyway you will return after hospital on the front line, he told that for him it's easier to take a gun and to blow his head, because at least in this situation his parents will get the body, because he told him that if they send him back he won't be able to return, and nobody ever will be able to find his body. It's a nightmare there, the situation on this area. Now let's take a look at the Russian sources map at the area of Novomikhailivka. As you can see, this gray line is the current gray zone. The Russians, as you can see, there is a small back in Novomikhailivka. This Novomikhailivka is attacked from three sides, from the north, from the east, from the south. And as far as I understand, because of desertion and so on, the Russians soon, I suppose, are going to take this town, and after that they will start developing their offensive operation bridgehead on this line. Novomikhailivka, Paraskovivka, Konstantinovka, Antonovka. In the area between, like in the middle between Kurakhova and Ugledar, in this area. On the Western sources map, I'm talking about these positions. This one, as you can see. So the Russians are trying to crack, and this will allow them to split this territory in two parts, and with help of that they will be able to encircle Ugledar from one side and to continue developing their offensive operation in the south in the direction of Kurakhova. Because yesterday in the Russian ministry report we know that Marinka has almost fallen, and the Russians control more than 75% of this town. So after that they will be able to develop their offensive operation from Marinka towards Maximilianovka, Gostra, and with help of this, by the way, on the north they're attacking, storming Nivoyskaya, and with help of this they will be able to establish some operational circlement of Krasnogorovka, of this area. So this is their South Donbas arc operation that we can see right now. Another important update are coming from Seversk, from Artyomovsk, from Bakhmut area, from this town, from this area. The Russians attacked the 72nd Mechanized Brigade. This one, 72nd Mechanized Brigade, that located right in front of the Russians in the town by the name of Kadema and Zaitsevo, Veselo Dolina. This is the area of their responsibilities. It is the vital area for the Ukrainians. And the Russians are trying to penetrate their defense line, but for now they are not able to do this, because the Ukrainians still have some reinforcement to change the forces, and they're doing this all the time. Since the beginning of July, this brigade lost something around 800 soldiers. Also, that's a lot. but the Ukrainians still have possibilities to reinforce and to do mobilization amongst the locals in this area, because they understand that if they don't take these locals, if they don't send these locals on the front line, anyway, the Russians are going to take this territory and they will lose these mobilization reserves. Another important update are coming from the 93rd Mechanized Brigade that located on the Zoom bridgehead. This one. The Russians are saying that as a result of their attack, this brigade lost something around 250 soldiers. There are 20 battalions. This battalion wasn't located in this area. The Russians are saying that they attacked this battalion in the area of Artyomovsk. So as you can see, the Ukrainians are losing. But the thing is that there is no progress from the Russian side in the territory expansion. They're still in their position. And as you can see, the Ukrainians still have reserves to send more and more reserves. That was the first story from my friend from Ukraine and about the situation. And today I also got from him another story. To tell the truth, at least he was saying like this, that Ukrainians are very afraid of. They were very afraid of this Independent Day. Because everybody in Ukraine, according to his words, were expected that the Russians will ruin Ukraine in this holiday because of that mercenary in Moscow, because of attack of Donetsk with rocket hammers yesterday. They were trying to hit the head of Russian parliament who visited Donetsk yesterday. And many others, like attack of Zaporozhye power plant, like destroying a lot of sabotage operations in Crimea and so on. So Ukrainians were expected of this, that this day won't be like a holiday, but it would be like the worst day in their life. But as you can see, according to the even Western sources map, you see that the situation is not critical. Yes, there are a few explosions, icons of explosions on the west side, something in near Dnieper, but I can't say that there is something special, that Russians prepare something special for the Ukrainians in this day. I think that everything is like according to the plans, like in any other regular day. I suppose that the Russians, of course, it's not an evening, there are still a few hours till the end of this day, but I'm not sure that the Russians are going to act like a terrorist, trying to do a lot of damage in Ukraine during their holiday. Anyway, as far as I see, the Russians know how to respect their enemy. Anyway, but the thing is, the second story from my guy from McCain, from my source, he told me that somewhere at the beginning of this year, before the 24th of February, he called me and told me the story that when he left Ukraine and he came to my house in Belarus. He was a refugee, then he returned back to Ukraine. He told me that he has some friend in Ukrainian military authorities. He has a very nice position, and his friend told him, he called him on his cell phone and told him, it was very long time ago, in December of 2021, he told him that one day I'm gonna call you using this number, and if you see my call, you have like few hours to leave Ukraine. It was before the 24th of February, and somewhere on the 23rd of February this year, somewhere at 11 p.m, he called him, and after that my friend understood that he needs to take his family and leave Ukraine, and he did this. So it was like the first case, the first story during this year, in the beginning of this year. And also today my friend told me another story. He told me that this guy called him one more time today. He told him that this is the last call. Don't pick up the phone. Don't pick up the phone and the call, and don't respond my call in the future. And if you receive another call from this number, he told him today this, then you have just 15 minutes to leave Kiev. And that was their conversation today. I don't know what the Russians are preparing. I don't know what is going to be next. But tomorrow is the 25th of August. And according to our discussion, tomorrow something is going to happen in Russian parliament if nothing changed. So let's see. Let's see and let's wait. And that's it for today. Military Summary channel reminds you that we condemn any violence in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Put your likes. Join my Patreon. And have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.